OSHA is expected to brief lawmakers tomorrow on an investigation into COVID-19 outbreaks at meat packing plants across the country. The House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Crisis wants to know what happened that led to the deaths of more than 250 employees and more than 50,000 infections. It includes at least 2 deaths traced to the JBS plant in Worthington. WCCO's Liz Collin shows us what's changed in the last year and explains why the threat of sickness still is not over.
It has been challenging for many families and especially in Worthington.
At one point this past spring, nearly half of JBS's 2,000 workers in Worthington tested positive for COVID-19. By summer, the company had made major changes, directing employees' movements and keeping them separated in a typically crowded workspace. Still, some employees have been infected since. With the help of an interpreter, Rosabel Maldonado explained her husband's fight happening right now. A JBS employee for 23 years, the 56-year-old tested positive last month. He's been in the hospital for the last week.
She came to me and she was looking for resources in the community.
Ruben Maldonado told his wife he felt much more comfortable with the protocols at the plant.
The only thing is when they go to the cafeteria where they go to eat and the lockers and bathrooms, because there's a lot of people right now that work there, so that makes it more difficult.
In D.C., lawmakers want to know the role JBS, Smithfield, and Tyson Foods had in what the inquiry calls their failure to carry out worker safety laws, resulting in preventable infections and deaths. In a statement to WCCO, JBS said it welcomes the investigation, saying since the onset of the pandemic, it invested more than $200 million in health and safety interventions, $160 million in bonuses and permanent increased pay, and donated more than $50 million to support local communities. JBS added that currently 0.1% of its workforce has COVID.
Her husband had to use vacation time, yeah.
And for those who do, there are still questions about the company's treatment of its employees, as Rosabel hopes her husband will be out of the hospital soon.
She's the only provider in that home, so it's difficult for her.
Liz Collin, WCCO 4 News.
JBS told us Ruben is on short-term disability right now. The company also said it covers 100% of all COVID-related health expenses for employees enrolled in its health plan. But a Reuters investigation found Minnesota meatpacking employees filed 930 workers' compensation claims with the Department of Labor and Industry. More than 700 were rejected, saying it's been difficult to determine exactly where an infection comes from. To help the Maldonado family, you'll find a link on WCCO.com.